It ain't over till it's over, baby. And even when it's over, it's still not over. What's up, my legion of leasers, my army of apartment maniacs? It's Matt Easton, your friend in leasing in life. And today I want to talk to you about how you leave things. Don't we hate it when this happens? How you leave things when a prospect tells you, it's over. I'm gonna go lease an apartment with the place down the street. Now, a lot of times they don't even tell you that, okay? But if you're finding it out after they've already signed the lease, that tells you that your follow-up game is terrible. You should be on top of every single one of your prospects on a regular basis, following up so that at some point in the dialogue, hopefully it's while they're there on property or it may be over the phone, they're going to tell you, listen, I really appreciate all the hard work. I really appreciate all the time you took. You've got a great apartment community. It's just not for me. I'm going to go sign a lease with the other people. Oh, I can't stand that. But what I want you to realize right now is, first of all, it ain't over till it's over. And second of all, more importantly, you have a choice at this moment. You have a choice when a prospect tells you you're not going to get the lease and they're going to go to a competitor. And probably 80 to 90% of the time, leasing consultants and leasing agents out there are making the absolute wrong choice. Here's what I mean. You have two choices. You can either make your competitor's job easier for them, or you can make their job a lot harder for them. And 80 to 90% of the time, you're making the competition's job easier for them. Here's what I mean. When somebody tells you, hey, I'm gonna go lease down the street, you let go, you give up. You don't want to handle the rejection. So you don't follow up and you don't do anything. Well, guess what you just did? You just confirmed that prospect's decision that this was the wrong place for them. Some of you do this. Here's what most of you do that makes your competition's job easier for them. You're told in some form or fashion that, hey, I'm going to go sign the lease with a competitor, and you start to grovel. You start to sell. You start to do everything you can to grab on to that lease. And it seems desperate. And all that causes your prospect to do is to double down on their decision because they feel like they're fighting with you at this point. Here's how you make your competitor's job a lot harder. And if you need to go back and watch this video over and over again, please do. If you want to learn more of these principles, more of these lessons, check out leasinguniversity.com. There's actually free courses right on the homepage. I think there's like, how many are on there? Well, I don't know. They're counting them up right now. I think there's like 7 to 9 free courses you could check out. But let me give you a little bit of a talk track. When it's that moment and they say they're going to lease with that competitor, here's how you make that competitor's job in closing that lease so much harder. First thing I want you to do, I want you to remain calm and I want you to remain positive. And I want you to agree with that prospect. 4 people watching the video right now, your head's just exploding. I'm going to agree with them to go sign the lease with the competitor. Let me explain how this goes. Matt, I really appreciate all the time you took. What were you trained at Leasing University? Because even on the phone, you were just spot on. You understood what was important to us, why it was important. You asked me what I wanted to see first at the property. You figured out why. You really understood all my wants and needs. But you know what? The apartment's just not for me. It's just not the right fit. I'm going to go sign the lease over at Willows down the street. Tina, I'm with you. I hear you. Don't know a ton about Willows. I'm sure it's a great fit. But Tina, I want you to make the right decision, and it sounds like you've got a good option over there. Will you do me one favor? Well, sure, Matt. What is it? When you get to Willows, if it's anything different than you thought it was. And they don't have the closet space that you told me was vital. And I know it sounds like you told me they've got bigger closets, but if those closets aren't the same as you remember, if that drive to your work, and you told me that the drive to work right now is killing you, if you map it out, and I suggest before you sign the lease, do the drive. If that drive is any longer than you thought it was, if you get there and the pool is not the same, because I know you told me you and your daughter love to hang out at the pool, and I know we've got a fantastic pool here in the summer, if that's different, if they don't show up for the meeting, or they're late, or they don't treat you with the respect and dignity that you and your daughter deserve, if they don't have that unit on the upper floor, when you walk up, you're just kind of not liking the stairs. If there's anything at all, Tina, about Willows that when you get there is different than how you have it in your mind right now, will you do me one favor? Well, yeah. Will you call me? Because I would love to have you lease here. But more importantly, Tina, I want you and your daughter to be happy. I want you to take that stress out of the drive that you're doing every day. I want you to have the closets, because I know you told me those were important to you. I want you to have closets that work for you. I want you to have a great swimming pool. And I want you to have a staff that cares about you and your daughter like your family, that's going to treat you with that respect and with that positivity. I want you to have a maintenance team just like our team that's going to be on it if you ever need anything. And if Willows has that for you, nothing would make me happier. But if they don't, or anything at all seems off, or it's not as good as you're picturing it right now, please, please call me. I can't hold this apartment, as you know, but if this one's not available, I will do my best to help you find the next best apartment. And I would really appreciate it if you would call me either way. If you sign the lease, please call me and say, hey Matt, it was exactly what we thought it was. We went ahead and signed the lease, because I'm going to be thinking about you. I'm going to be thinking about you and your daughter. I'm going to be hoping, I'm going to be rooting for you that you find exactly what you need. I think we found it here, but only you can make that decision. But first and foremost, Tina, I want you to be happy and I want you to love your home. So will you do me this favor? If it's not the same, will you call me? If it turns out it's as spectacular as you think it is right now, even better, please call me and let me know, because I'm going to be thinking about you. Does that work for you? Yeah, Matt, I will. What did I just do? How did I make the Willows job a lot harder for them? Here's the bar. I set the bar. I set the bar way up there, right? Knowing about your daughter, knowing about your drive to work, knowing about the pool. Guess what? Willows didn't go through Leasing University, so they're going to be like, hey, welcome. Yeah, hey, let's do that. Let's do that deal on 406. And they're going to be like, wait a minute. You didn't care about me. They don't even know what's important to me. And here's the other thing that ends up happening. When your prospects are thinking about a competitor and they're like, the closet's bigger, the pool's just as good, I'm sure the drive is just as good, we picture things in our mind better than they may really be. Have you ever met somebody and then you go out on a date and you're like, who is this person? They're not the same person, especially if you met them online, right? You're like, I don't even think that's the same person in the photo. It's the same psychological principle that's going on in their head. So you need to set that bar as high as possible, because Willows is not going to live up to it. The second time that they look at that closet, do you think the closet's going to seem bigger and more spacious? That closet that they thought was so good, now they're suddenly going to look at it and they're going to be like, it's just the closet, right? Do I really need an agility course on a dog park? You know what, that Matt guy, he cared about me. He cared about my daughter. He understands the fact that I am dying in Austin traffic every afternoon. You know what, maybe I should actually do the drive, because maybe I'm not really thinking this thing through. And it's not going to live up to their expectations. And you stand an excellent chance of Tina calling you back. But when you say things like, Tina, hey, I think you're making the wrong decision and I can't hold this apartment, and Willows isn't great. And I've heard some things about Willows. Did you go and check their reviews online? Suddenly, now you're just a slick leasing consultant or slick property manager, and you're just saying what you need to say to get the lease. Spin the table around and talk to them like what you care about most of all is them finding the right home. And I hope that's what you care about most of all, because that's what you should care about. And you should believe in your community. Talk to them like that. Tina, listen, it sounds like that's a great place. I'm with you. I hear you. I want you to make the best decision. If I was in your shoes, I would want to make the best decision. Will you do me this favor? If when you get there, if it's anything less than what you thought it would be, would you call me? And now you use your notes that you took through your Leasing University sales training to start recapping what's important to them. You told me the closets were vital. Vital. Your stuff is overflowing right now. The drive, it's killing you. You want to be on a higher floor, but you'd love to have an elevator. Whatever it is that they told you, make sure you recap all of that. Make sure you let them know that you personally care about them. I know this is going to help you. Put it into practice. I know it's difficult to learn from the YouTube, okay? If you want the fundamentals, if you want the actual training that goes with this type of philosophy, check out leasinguniversity.com. We will get you certified. We'll make you a certified leasing consultant. This will be the type of vibe that you are going to project. And on those few cases where you don't get the lease, you're going to have people sending reviews your way and sending referrals your way because you are such a great property manager and leasing consultant. For more tips, please subscribe to this channel. Please check out leasinguniversity.com. If you want me to come out and work with you live one-on-one, we're going to drill. We're going to role play. It's going to be fun. We're going to set the bar so darn high for your competition that they're never going to be able to take a lease from you. Call my office. I'll come out and train you. 888-735-7451. Or tell your competition about me. I'll go out and train them, and you guys can deal with it. All right, either way. I'm going to train somebody. I'd love it to be you. Until the next video, I want you to be great, and I want you to get those leases. Let's go! The way people rent apartments has changed. Today's renter has access to more information. Today's renter has more choices. The apartment industry needs you. Studies have shown that moving is the most stressful life event. The old sales training, well, it just doesn't work today. I'd like to teach you how to take the stress out of leasing apartments in a way that's meaningful to you and your renters and get you 7 times more leases. I'll show you how the perfect leasing process works. I'm going to walk you through everything from answering the phone to closing the lease. I'm going to show you how to determine your prospects' wants and their needs so that you can build value in your apartments. You will learn how to handle any objection or complaint. I'm going to show you how to connect with your renter so it's easy for them to rent with you. I've taught the best property management companies and thousands of people just like you how to lease apartments. Property management is complicated. I'll simplify it for you. There's more competition than ever before. I'm going to show you how to be number one. All of a sudden, your career, it's going to make perfect sense, even if you've never worked in sales or property management before. And for the advanced property manager, I'm going to show you how to take things to the next level. Leasing University is a new, simple, step-by-step process that's effective. We're going to help you become a rock star in property management. I'm Matt Easton, and this is Leasing University.